What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 71. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. His name is Ian Michaud, and we call him E, a.k.a. E. James, a.k.a. Sebastian Drew, E.C., a.k.a. Easterdamus, a.k.a. Pap, E. O'Daniel, a.k.a. The Fashionista, a.k.a. Chili Willy, a.k.a. Joe E. Chestnut, a.k.a. Timu Pukey, a.k.a. Eon Stuckle. E, we're feeling great, man. How's your Sunday been?
Great, man. It's Moochie's birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah, so we slept in pretty late. I made him a steak for breakfast. He enjoyed his steak, and we've been hanging out, laying low pretty much all day, basking in the glory of victory. Mm-hmm. A lot of White Claws last night. Happy Claws are always the best. But yeah, excited to get into it. I know that we were itching to get to this pod today.
Yeah, can't wait to get into it. And a lot to get to because we've got the recap of the win last night. We've got the recap of Austin FC 2's shutout victory over Dynamo Dos. And we've got a first team match to preview coming up here on Wednesday. And of course, couple news items in between. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Right off the rip yesterday, when that lineup comes out, there is chaos. Because just the first, we had two lineups, right? The first lineup itself is head scratching at best. Like Kip did get the start for Alex. We knew they had put out the news earlier in the day that Alex Ring was going to be out with the groinal. So Kip was in there, but then Rodney Redes is starting over Ethan Finley, and you've got Finley and Rigoni on the bench. I'm staring at Brandon Craig's name because he was also on the bench. And Rodney Redes apparently was, according to Josh, a mistake to be on there. And the other mistake was Brandon Craig's name was actually spelled incorrectly. So a few minutes later, we get a different lineup graphic from the team. Ethan Finley was in the 11. Brandon Craig then spelled correctly. But Rodney Redes was not on the bench. Like, he went from starting in the mistake graphic, according to coach, to not on the bench at all. And Austin FC rolling with 19 players instead of 20. And then the plot thickened after the match because Rodney Redes was there. And like you see him in the Seba makes a post-game speech, gets the game ball. And Lord Redes is sitting right there, just kind of, in the street clothes. And so I don't know really what to make of this. I saw some people speculating that like you can maybe see a pair of shoes in the locker room picture that they take, of the guys that of course everybody loves. Like there's a pair of shoes back there that might belong to Rodney Redes, but there's no Rodney Redes head. So was he in the picture and edited out? I don't know, man, but I think we have to speculate here because we love to do it. And this is certainly some smoke. And I think Phil West probably put it best, putting my thoughts into words with his three theories on what the hell is going on here. First, he said there's a deal on the table to move Rodney to another club, and he got pulled to preserve his health. Second, he said he's actually injured, but the team isn't disclosing it, maybe because they're working to move him on. And then third, there could be some disciplinary issue that the staff wants to just keep in-house because, again, coach, when Phil pressed him on it after the game, he said, it was a miscommunication between myself, Josh, and our admin that puts that in. Ethan was always starting. That was just put in wrong. So we had to quickly change that and get it corrected. But, confirm that Redes was there. We saw the video evidence later. So I guess let's stick within the goalposts of those three theories that Phil West laid out. Which one is the most probable to you?
Personally, I think it's that he's being moved. I don't think the disciplinary action, I don't even think that there's a small chance that that's one of them.
Really? Okay.
Because why wouldn't coach? So what could it be that went from, he was supposed to, there was a miscommunication about him starting to he's not playing and he's still there. What could have happened in that time frame that they would be like, oh yeah, well, we're taking you right off the team? I don't think there's any way it was discipline.
Yeah. Well, we don't, I think from my memory, which isn't the best, of course, but like the only time I remember an injured player going on a trip is Seba.
Yeah.
Back in Portland, right? And I don't think we're doing that with Rodney. We haven't seen Sophie Jeffel for a while, but those two guys have been in and out of the bench for each other over the last month or so. So Sophie's not there. So I think I agree. I don't think it's disciplinary unless he motherfucked every coach on the staff right before the game after he was put into the lineup.
Yeah, there's no way.
And so like and maybe he does have a little bit of a knock and they're keeping him out if they are working on a deal, maybe. But like then he wouldn't be in the team anyways. And like how many I've just never seen a mistake on a starting lineup like that.
Yeah.
He was the featured player on the graphic, the first one they tweeted out.
Yeah, I remember you sent me that tweet. I was finishing up at Kenny's card show down there, and you sent me that tweet, and I was like, what? Rodney? What, like he jumped both Finley and Rigoni in a week's practice. Yeah. So man, my best guess is that yes, he's on the move.
Yeah. Well, my reaction,
we would have heard something about an injury.
You would think. I mean, it could have happened at practice.
For sure. But coach could say that.
Right. Exactly. He didn't say
he like, yeah, he's got he was warming up and he strained his calf. Whatever. He could say that. So to me, he's gone.
Well, dude, that's if he didn't show up in that post-match video, if he wasn't there, I don't think twice about it. Yeah, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
But again, like why did he come on the trip if he's not going to play? And we're just not going to use that other bench spot. I know teams do that when they're in a pinch. Like they go out there with 19 instead of 20. That's not crazy in and of itself, but just like everything surrounding the situation points to something going on other than miscommunication between Josh and whoever posts that lineup.
I totally agree. And my best guess, my best speculation is that he is on the move.
Well, we may get some news on that between now and Thursday's pod after the Vancouver match. So obviously we'll keep our eyes on that and see how that develops. The lineup that was correct here, of course, Ethan Finley back in there. So really the only change was Kip Keller for Alex Ring. Let's just jump into it here because, man, the first 30 minutes when we were watching it live did not feel great. And unsurprisingly on the rewatch today, it was just about as bad as I remembered it in the heat of the moment with, all my nerves all bundled up. Second minute, there's a little bit of comic relief in my eyes in the second minute here because that was the first of many camera shots we got of Adrian Heath leaning out of like the suite window up top, which is it was just like a really funny. It was a silly image to me. I think a good amount of people were having fun with that. Fifth minute, Julio, who was being tested early and often here with the speed of Mender Garcia on that left side. He gets tangled up with Rosales near midfield and end up like the foul ends up getting called on him. I thought it could have gone either way, but that was just I don't know, man. He was under fire to start this one. And
he was, the heart rate, the blood pressure was through the roof during this start here. Julio just doing some strange things. I did think that was a foul on Julio. I felt like he was just dead to rights. He had nowhere else to go. So he's trying to hold it up. There's three guys on him. He's being physical, and then he kind of falls and grabs the ball at the same time. Force the ref to do something. So I was fine with that call. But yes, a very shaky start for Mr. Cascante in the back there.
Maybe lucky, or maybe a little lucky, at least, that, you mentioned he grabbed the ball kind of before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that happen quite a few times now, but that one was the most – there was the least amount of time – or, excuse me, there was time between the whistle and when he had actually done it, and, it was actually noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next minute here in the 6th, Kip Keller, who like the microscope is going to be on him for the foreseeable future, right?
Yeah.
Especially because he as good as he has been in my eyes, compared to where some of our expectations are at this point, he has not really made it through an appearance yet that I can recall out of the last 4 where like he didn't have a very nervy moment. We talked about the little mishap against Miami with him letting the ball get through there. Here in the 6th minute, he takes a pretty good angle on Reynoso in the midfield to take the ball away. And again, on the night, I think performed, I guess, above my expectation, and that bar is fairly low at this point. But this 4 minutes later here, 4 minutes later here with Kip whiffing on a bouncing ball near midfield that springs Bongi down the right. Bongi slides it onto Garcia right at the spot, and he sends it wide. That should have been the opening goal.
100%. And the thing with Kippy is he's been fine. Like, he has been fine.
But fine, right? That's about as good as you can.
But the mistakes that he has made are eventually someone's gonna score off of these. Like you said here, they should have. Miami probably should have when it happened in Miami. Sure. So I think he's been fine. And if he just doesn't have these glaring mistakes that also just kind of look like basic, common, like just really basic plays,
right?
Then he'd be doing great. It's just those things look so bad. In particular, when you take into account everything that's happened with him this season, it just looks so bad, and you're just like, But then, if you look at his performance overall, he had some really great plays last night too, like really great plays with good communication, and a couple times stops some very threatening looks. So if he can just clean that up, because we don't need him, it's clearly we don't need him to be fantastic. He just needs to be okay,
serviceable.
Yep, and he's a big body, and we need that in the back there. We were having a slight debate about who was potentially faster between him and Alex.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I guess probably Alex would be faster, I would say. I think of just giving Kippy the edge because he's got younger legs.
Yeah, sure.
But
he's more all-around athletic. I think that's without question.
So if he cleans those things up, man, that's going to be great. And just for him mentally too. To take in a full game where it's like, yeah, dude, I was out there, I did the whole thing. So I'm surprised they didn't press him more because they did go after Julio, but they did not go full tilt after Kippy the way they were going after Julio. And they were kind of doing it's almost like a 3/4 court press, 3/4 field press. It's you come to us and then we go after you, So it was really stagnant right behind that midfield line. We're just in the horseshoe there. Yeah. But, man, we'll get into some more Stuver stuff, but that one should have been a goal.
Yep. Yeah, and the Minnesota pressure continues here throughout the first 20, 30 minutes of this match. 12th minute, Hassani Dotson gets past Seba near midfield, and he finds Bongi at the top of the box. Bongi then gets some space kind of in between Kip and Gallagher with Dani right on his back and fires a shot. Luckily, it's right at Brad. He gobbles it up 2 minutes later. I did see people online talking about their feelings that the announcing team was a little anti-Austin.
Okay.
And I think that kind of started with this foul on Nick Lehman near the right sideline because I think it's Dan Gargan who was he was the guy fucking Gargan on Houston's nuts last week. That free kick from that goes towards the back post towards Julio and Zardes, and it's able to be cleared out for Minnesota. And then disaster averted here because Nick, who drew the foul, now he's back off the off the set piece, right? So he's kind of the lone guy back, and he and Reynoso kind of come together, and Nick falls, and number 10 for Minnesota is about to just go one on Stuver, and just crisis averted here. Nick swipes the ball away while he's on the ground. But again, it was just how many times are we going to escape by the skin of our teeth here? And it felt like we kept saying their goal is coming here. We're going to give one up.
Oh yeah. It seemed completely inevitable with how it started. And it's pretty funny that, the 2 times we've played this club, they've had ridiculous chances and we've outscored them 6-3, right? Or 6-2. 6-2.
Who's that?
Minnesota.
Yeah, 6-2.
So it was a terrifying start, and I can't help but I feel bad for the Minnesota fans who were there because they were just begging for one.
Yeah, well, especially with the hype around their team with Pookie and Tajuri Shradi coming in in their first appearance off the bench there. 5 minutes later, another Minnesota transition build-up here, going through Reynoso down the middle as they did often last night. He got it out to the left. Then it comes back to him. He swings it to the right side. Bongi ends up with it in the box. He kind of crosses from his right to his left and fires a shot that's just wide. And then off the ensuing goal kick from Stuver, Minnesota wins the ball and immediately slices through that Austin back line. And Reynoso puts Mender Garcia in on Stuver again. He ended up not taking a shot, tried to pass it across on the ground to Bongi, who misses the pass, and Garcia was initially offside. They brought it back after that. The flag went up late, but my God, man, just a barrage there on the back line and on Stuver through the first 20 minutes. And it keeps going here. 22nd minute, Reynoso cross from the left gets just over Kip's head and falls right to Garcia. And Kip, I thought, was good here. He quickly turned around, and I think after that first touch on the ground, he gets his foot in there and is able to pop it out for a corner after he couldn't get his head to it. So again, like you said, he was fine. Yep. And like we were talking about a couple weeks ago, we don't care how he gets it done.
Yeah,
just get it done. It doesn't have to look pretty, man.
Nope.
Let's just get 3 points.
Absolutely. And this game, man, because we had the ball for a significant portion of this first 20 minutes here, 30 minutes, and we weren't doing jack shit with it. Yeah. And then every time they touched it, it was like, oh, here they come. They're over the top on us again. And it was terrifying. I don't know if I've had a more terrifying start to a game as an Austin fan than this first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Or at least it's just it's been a while, right? I feel like 2021, they're that was almost commonplace. We kind of expected that to start the matches, but we have, I think, as a team and as fans, grown out at least from that. We haven't been great this season, but to your point, the first 30 minutes were just not. There was hardly anything to smile about, to be positive about. 24th minute, here's a little sliver of life from Austin. I think it was Dani who gets it was Diego who got fouled outside of the 18, kind of left center of net, probably 6-7 yards outside. I think they ran 2 fake over the ball, and then Diego ends up chipping it towards the back post, and the sliver of hope is gone because Julio just trips over himself, falls down backwards. The stadium, right in front of the supporter section there, stadium starts laughing, and
I was laughing.
We were not having fun at that point. Nothing is going right here through the first half hour.
I mean, we talked about it too. Seba had barely even touched the ball.
Yes, wasn't even involved. 3-4 touches in that first 25 minutes.
And it was just oh my God, we can't even get him the rock. And another thing is they did not want Dani getting that ball. Mm-hmm. And the couple times he did it and broke those lines is when we started to actually turn up a little bit. Obviously, we're going to get the goal here in a second, but his ability to just one touch and then almost full speed, he just out of a cannon, it's fantastic. So carry on.
28th minute, Reynoso starts Mender Garcia on the break again down the left, and then he crosses low into Bongi in front of net. And Johnny G had taken a poor angle trying to cover Bongi and catch up to him on that backside, but he does enough to recover and actually gets it out for a goal kick here. But again, just another opportunity in front of net, and Minnesota really built up some of they were over 2 XG last night. They built up a lot of that here in the first half hour.
It was 1.68 to 0.11 in that first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. 30th minute here. Lima long throws backwards towards Julio.
Oh my God.
He takes just an awful heavy. Maybe not. He takes a heavy touch, and it goes right into the path of Garcia. And so he's in one on Stuver, and Stuver with another fantastic kick save. We saw a lot of that against Joseph Martinez in Miami last week. We see it again here from Brad. Kick save keeps it level, out for a corner. And man, breaking news, Brad Stuver's fucking good.
Oh, thank you, Bradley Scott Stuver, for your work last night, because we could have had a very different outcome.
that ensuing corner gets cleared out, but not far enough. Reynoso gets back onto it, and he puts it right on Hassani Dotson's head, and he hits the right post, and it goes out for a goal kick. Just broken record here through every single note through the first half hour is just Minnesota should have scored. Minnesota should have scored over and over and over again. Here we go, 31st minute. Austin gets a nice little 6-on-6 break going after a Minnesota turnover in the midfield. Finley ends up with it out on the right, and he cuts to his inside foot on the left, tries to curl it back post. And it goes just wide, and Diego was actually right there, almost able to get his head to it and tap it in. But again, just after the first 25 minutes is where there's signs of life here. There's a sliver of hope for Austin, and man, do they take advantage here in the 35th minute. Most promising buildup on the game ends with a beautiful give and go between Diego and Dani. And Dani, the pass, the through ball there to Diego, puts it right on his foot. Diego buries it. And again, we heard Dan Gargan last night talking about, Diego Fagunda is not going to miss from there. Seba Driussi is not going to miss from there. You haven't been watching Austin this year. But Diego fucking slots it home, man, and that's what we expect him to do in it with an opportunity like that. 10 passes in that build-up, all working that left side of the pitch. It was fucking great to see. And we were hyped, man, and we said, all right, well, now we got to buckle down. This is going to be a long hour of packing it in. But great to see Diego get back on the score sheet.
Fantastic. Wonderful shot. Let's just touch on the two teams real quick here. Minnesota, all those chances, they did get a little frustrated. Anytime you have that amount of chances, quality looks at the net, and you can't finish, you get a one-on-one, you take a header off the post. So they were frustrated, and it started to show a little bit. And credit to us for weathering the storm and being able to handle that big haymaker that they threw at us in the beginning. We got a little lucky. That happens in soccer. So we got a little lucky, but we maintained the game plan. We were patient. And then this is where you see the fruit of that labor with a 10 pass play, and we get a goal out of it. And the entire script has been flipped now on this Minnesota club. And they were already, like I said, they were frustrated. So great shot by Diego. Super happy for him. Fantastic touch. That's what we've known him to do in our time here as Austin FC fans. And I was very happy for him to get that goal.
Well, how many times have we seen it? It feels like multiple times this season where, like, Austin, especially at home, as Minnesota was last night, where Austin comes out on the front foot, misses multiple chances to open the scoring, and then the game goes awry after that. When you give it your all for that first portion of the game, and nothing, it can change things mentally in the game, and sometimes physically. You start pressing a little bit more when it, when things aren't working.
Absolutely, and newsflash: any team is going to be better when they score first. So like when we've had our struggles, obviously, where if we don't score first, we haven't been able to get a victory. So I know we're pushing to get a goal early, to just get on the board, especially on the road. You want to try to steal one quick. But again, patience with the club, the players. I felt like that pitch was not great.
It was. Josh did talk about it. He said it was slick. He said it was kind of similar to Miami, where you saw Nick fall down in the middle of the field. You saw the ball skipping around sometimes. It was slick out there, and that's according to the guys who were out there, right, watching it up close. And it certainly looked that way on the screen. 42nd minute here, Zardes does well to carry the ball across the pitch and keep this little fast break going that Austin fell into. He eventually gets it on to Diego out on the left, and he plays Galley into the box, and Galley is fouled for Austin's first penalty kick of the season. And I don't know, man, somebody said that was going to happen. Maybe on Wednesday's podcast. I don't know. When you fucking predict all the good things to happen every single week, eventually you're going to hit. But it was fucking awesome to finally get one. Kind of pretty crazy coincidence that we get another PK in Minnesota. Long review, but VAR doesn't send Alex Chilowitz to the monitor. Despite, again, fucking Dan Gargan, man, talking about he wanted that overturned. And look, I understand that it was close, but I think, and again, Verde colored glasses, so I may be wrong here. And I think Andrew Wiebe going to have a field day with this one on instant replay this week. But I think that one was close enough where you cannot overturn whatever the official's call was on the field. And if he had not given the penalty, I think it would be fair to say it's not a penalty. It was a very bang play, and the replay really didn't help to me, get a clearer picture of what actually went on there. Maybe it was soft, but again, we'll fucking take it. And Driussi does. He buries it. And a 2-0 halftime lead, man. What the hell?
Unbelievable. Like you said, bang, bang play. Can't overturn it. I agree with that as well. Shout out to Seba for maintaining composure that entire time while they're doing a long review. And he's just standing there like, yeah, wait until I get this PK. I'm putting it home. So it was – we've been asking for it, man. We've been asking for a fucking PK, and finally felt good. And, I think Johnny got fouled. Sure. I do. I definitely do. And he added a little flavor to it. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. You're kind of supposed to do that, right? You have an opportunity to win a penalty. Yeah. You should try to sell it.
Amine Bassi would have died on the field.
Oh, man. So 2-0 into halftime, coming out of halftime, no changes for either team. And, we know, even in our soccer fandom infancy here, that a 2-0 lead can be dangerous, especially on the road. Yeah. And especially with some of the firepower that a team like Minnesota had at their disposal off the bench last night. So, what makes that 2-0 worry that you may have had in the back of your mind, that nervousness go away? Scoring a fucking third, 51st minute here. Dani wins the ball in the midfield and turns on the fucking Jets. The touch from him and then the leading this fast break. I think everybody in the living room, we had a group of folks over at my place last night. I think everybody stood up when he made that turn. And he finds Ethan Finley out on the right, and he crosses it towards that back post on the left. Wide open Sebastian Driussi. He dunks it home for the brace, for the 3-0 lead, and Sebastian Driussi, first in club history to 50 goal contributions. So congrats to Crack. And the party is on, man. The game was over at that point.
Over. That game was definitely over at that point. And a beautiful finish, a beautiful ball from Finley. What a turn from Dani. 3 special players making great play. Gotta love it. We're partying now, having a blast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are that. We were doing that. 54th minute, Hassani Dotson gets a yellow for tripping up Dani. Yeah, man, fucking every game this kid gets just clipped from behind, like really hard. Yeah. Teams are physical with him. We've obviously talked about that a good bit. 55th minute, Driussi puts in a cross from the left after a recycled corner. It goes right onto Jossi's head, but he's not really at an angle where he can put it accurately on frame. It goes over for a goal kick. But I thought Driussi did really well last night. Both the first goal and the second goal came off him, I guess, kind of keeping the break alive, keeping the possession alive, him dropping back deeper, the work on set pieces to be another big body in there on both sides of the ball. And the Thought Mob rating showed it, man. I don't think he really had any direct chances on net, but still a 7.6 rating is accounting for all of the things that he does.
Absolutely. This was a total team effort, total team win, and you can look at every single dude up and down the pitch last night and find some plays where it's just like, hell yeah. Like, we're not going to talk about Nicky too much here other than, he avoiding catastrophe.
Right.
Another great game. Johnny draws the PK, but he played some excellent defense. Had some, I think he was like 94% pass accuracy with some great touches. So just a total team
30
effort.
of 32.
Yeah. So just a total team effort. And G didn't get on the score sheet, but made his presence felt, had a couple very nice hold-up style play, because that's usually not what he wants to do. He just wants to get it off his foot as quick as possible, turn around and start running to the net. And I love that about him. But he had some ones to extend the play, allow our guys to get up the pitch, and obviously, we're pushing those backs up. So, yeah, man, it was a total team effort.
2 shots for Zardes on the night. 1 chance created, 0.2 XG, and 0.2 expected assists as well. 56th minute, here comes the cavalry for Minnesota, the Loons debuts of Pookie and Tajuri Shradi, in for Garcia and Rosales, and then Devin Paddleford came in for Zarek Valentin. 2 minutes later, Austin Corner from Diego finds Kip, free header in the box. He puts it just over the bar. We're going to see him score one of those. Depending on where the back line is the rest of the year, he might get it before the year's out. But But again, showcasing that athleticism, the size that he does have. And we need that from his position. 66 minute. Here's another Kip battling on the near sideline with Pookie, able to get it out for a throw. And again, we're not going to highlight every face-off that Kip had with the big fin there, but he did well, man. He held his own.
And like you said, you're not going to touch on all, but there was multiple plays where he did more than good on a very good player who came in and was like a fucking magnet. That ball just kept finding him.
Yeah.
I'm
glad he's on our fantasy team.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. And it was great I was not expecting him to look the way he looked, but it made it even better.
Yeah, you had never seen his face before.
This guy, yeah.
Yeah, Pookie, 34 minutes, 3 shots. So again, very, very active in his first appearance here in MLS. 71st minute, you get Emmy on for Diego. You get your boy, Lundqvist, in for Ethan Finley. And then we see John Gallagher stay back, not go up to the wing. And Austin shifts into the back 5 with Lima kind of as that right center back, Johnny on the right, Adam on the left. And, man, I know that there, of course, like whenever there's a formation shift in the game, whether it's just, somebody like Johnny going forward, or we actually, sub on Will Bruin and go double striker at the end of the game, things like that. We saw that a couple times last year where you'd see a Maxi out there with a Danny Houston or Musa out there with one of the two trying to get a goal back. The last time I remember us shifting from that back 4 to back 5 in game was probably at LAFC last year when we brought Kip Keller on, and he was a little shaky in that one as well. I think picked up a yellow, almost a PK called on him as well. But it was nice to see that shift happen mid-game. And again, I think that's something too that you don't have to necessarily do just to hold on to a lead. I think we have enough experience. A lot of these guys played in that 3-back, the 5, the 2 wing backs progressing up the field. I think we can switch to that if we need a change up in game going down the road as well. And again, as we talked about, man, this team needs multiple ways to attack. And clearly the 4-3-3 is what we've fallen back on as our, kind of our old reliable, and it's paying dividends. But to see that formation change with 20 minutes to go, it was a little refreshing in my eyes.
Look, it's a beautiful thing. I talked about it maybe 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, something that we still have this in our back pocket. I'm not saying it's our best lineup. I'm not saying that we should be going to it, but we have experience and time in that formation, and it's always good to have that in your back pocket. Yep. And busting it out here, I was super happy with that. I thought it was a great call. And look, even with the sub for Lundqvist and my, rant on him last week.
Yeah.
This is where he plays his best. So you bring him on the pitch and you change the formation. You put that guy in a spot for him to succeed. And again, it's a great thing to have in our back pocket. Just absolutely fantastic.
I agree. 73rd minute, Maxi comes in for Zardes, and then Pookie gets out on the run past Keller this time, crosses it low. Lima able to get it out for a corner before the opposing player on that left side of the net can tap it home. The next minute, Pookie now with the ball on the left side, and he kind of dekes inside Julio on that left side and fires a shot that Stuver able to parry. There was a lot of velocity on that shot, and he parries it all the way outside of the 18. And the shutout continues. 81st minute here. You've got Valencia ready to come on, and Dani just 2-hand shoves a Minnesota player right in front of Alex Chilowitz. So he's suspended for Wednesday's match at Vancouver. Smiles coming off. Josh Wolf returns the smile. So, it looks 100% planned. I was a little bit confused because Dani played in Vancouver last year, and it seemed like a lot of the fan base forgot about that. I think there was some sort of special work visa, and I am likely getting that wrong, but he had some sort of exception to get up there last year. Obviously, 2021 didn't play any games outside of the States. So my only thought here is that maybe whatever work permit that is that he got last year, it was denied this year for some reason, or something else is going on. But it was very clearly planned. I don't know how you can be smiling about that, or he just wouldn't do that. So the plan was clearly to get him suspended here on Wednesday, and we'll see him back on Saturday with not a clean slate, but now a 3-card buffer until his next suspension. It was just kind of an interesting chain of events there.
It was very interesting. You usually don't react to a yellow card like that.
Yeah, just
especially the one that gets you suspended.
yeah.
So yeah, it looked like that was a plan.
Yeah, and maybe we'll potentially we'll have a media availability before the team goes north of the border. I'm not sure, but hopefully we get some answers on that at some point. Maybe something that they can't talk about if you're not supposed to openly game the rules like that.
I don't think they're going to talk about that.
I mean, if we can, if we can hear something about his status in terms of his travel, right? If he was not able to get permission to go up there, I would like to know. Maybe we never find out. 85th minute here. You had gone outside with some of our buddies to like starting the celebration already here in the 85th minute. I am typing out a tweet to highlight that through his last 4 appearances or however long it's been, Kip Keller, Austin FC has not given up a goal with Kip Keller on the pitch. Devin Paddleford heads home the first goal for Minnesota. It was a corner that was flicked on by Hassani Dotson, and Paddleford wasn't really even looking at the goal, but it gets past Stuver. And man, I think in my disappointment, I came out and blamed you right away for starting the celebration too early. But I will also take blame for just preparing a final whistle tweet, before the final whistle. Can't be doing that.
Nope. And thank God that they scored. Or thank God you didn't send it out. I'm sorry, not thank God.
Yeah. But then I thought this was notable too on the rewatch. Off the restart from the goal, Austin is able to win 2 corners in quick succession and then 2 extra throws off of that. And that sustained possession, because, of course, a corner at this point in the game up 3-1, it's going to take like 45 seconds off the clock. It totally kills any momentum that may have been building there off that Minnesota goal. And we pretty much get into stoppage time here without too much trouble. And in stoppage time, there was 6 minutes added. Like the game really opens up as Minnesota's throwing everything forward. Austin able to counter in turn. 2nd minute of stoppage time here. Gallagher gets free at the top of the box. And he has a go, but it just kind of rises continuously over the bar and out. But good to see him taking his shot. 4th minute of stoppage time. Rigoni cuts inside and he takes a shot that forces a diving save. So decent look from Emmy there. And then 5th minute of stoppage time. Austin gets out on the break again. Seba finds a cutting Emiliano Rigoni. He takes another shot that's blocked by Irwin, the backup keeper that was in there last night. Driussi gets onto the offensive rebound. He plays a beautiful give and go, a looping give and go with John Gallagher on the right side. And while that is going on, Emmy Rigoni is sneaking unmarked to the back post. Seba crosses it to a wide open number 7. He taps it home. 4-1 final. Emmy on the board with his 2nd goal of the season. And look, we will take full credit. We dropped him off the fantasy team. Now he's going off. 10 goals. Here we come. So 4-1 final. What are your final thoughts on I guess, Emmy's goal and the win as a whole?
Super happy for Emmy. He came in. He was active. He was aggressive. We were up 3-1, so I don't know if he's just playing a little more free.
Yeah.
But very happy for him. Right place, right time. Put it home. In regards to the game, again, took a big punch right in the mouth right to start this game, and we weathered it. We were able to stay composed, execute our game plan, win handedly, work a new formation in the game. So there was a shitload of positives to come out of this match here. Now you look at that table, baby, and that table's looking mighty sexy. Climbed up to 5th, I believe. Yes.
Yes, sir. 5th in the West.
So we'll take that. This team has been really great their last 4 games.
Our team? Yeah, we've been fantastic our last 4 games. I think Austin FC Communications letting us know that earlier today. And you fucking guys, you got to watch out with your sample sizes here. Since June 21st, no team in MLS has more goals or points than Austin FC. It's 11 goals and 10 points. The team has moved from 12th to 5th in the Western Conference during that span. And it's kind of like this. There's like a segment of the fan base who said, look how close we are. It takes just a couple wins strung together to get back up to where we want to be. And we are not there yet. Fifth is not top four.
Nope.
Top four was our bar for like, this is a successful regular season. But man, is it setting up well for us. 29 points, like you said, in fifth place. Tied on points with Dallas and San Jose, but a game in hand on both of those clubs. We also have a game in hand on RSL, who's in fourth, Seattle, who is in second on 33 and 35 points, respectively. So, yeah, man, things are looking good. And if we can just go back to a wider sample size here. The last 10 matches for Austin, 19 points, stemming from the road victory over Seattle. And, of course, like we said, when we threw out a smaller sample size a week or so back, there were some big-time speed bumps in this 10-game stretch. Mm-hmm. But 10 games is damn near a third of a season. And over the last 10 games for all clubs, only 2 teams in MLS have more points than Austin FC over their last 10. That's Cincinnati, the Supporters Shield leaders, on 21 points, and the surging Real Salt Lake, who also have 21 points from their last 10 matches and are adding players seemingly at will here. Yeah. Boy Chicho picking up his first RSL goal last night. Nashville and St. Louis City also on 19 from their last 10. So Austin in the top 5 over the last 10 matches of league play. And I don't know, man, almost a third of a season. Feels like something's going on here in Austin in a positive direction.
Yeah, we're as healthy as we've been. We have our best players. Our guys are getting back into form. And look, we're gonna add some fucking pieces, baby. Don't don't want to get lost in all the players that have been brought to this league this season here with other clubs. Yep. We are going to add pieces. Yep, something is coming. So. Again, great time to be an Austin FC fan. You get the FC2 dub as well. And look, we're not where we want to be, but you can't get into 4th place from 12th overnight. Right. So we have built the foundation up again. We're right on the precipice of where we want to be. And look, we got a long ways to go. You know, we're playing games until fucking October. So
13 more.
Long ways to go. Feeling good right now. Just got to keep it rolling, keep building. We still got to clean some stuff up. I want to see some more work with formational changes and how we can move in and out of this. These 2 that we have kind of perfected here with the 4-3-3 and the 5-back. But yeah, man, it's just exciting and a great win last night. Just a lot of fun.
3.49 XG for Austin in Fatma's model, 2.19 for Minnesota. 23 shots to 17 in favor of Minnesota. 40 total shots in that game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Golly. 8 shots on target to 7 in favor of Austin, and 12 of Austin's 17 shots were inside the box. 4 goals are the most scored since the LAFC home match last year, of course, and most ever in an away match for Austin FC. Seba's away brace was the second away brace in club history after Cecilio did it at Denverde's second ever game with his brace there following Diego's first ever goal for the club. Austin FC now back to 500, if you want to call it that. 8 wins, 8 losses, and 5 draws. And we're now back to even with our goal differential, 29 for and 29 against. And another game coming fast and furious here on Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Central. North of the border, Austin FC taking on Vancouver Whitecaps. BC Place has not been kind to Austin. And this has been a tough matchup in general. Austin has just 1 victory over Vancouver in 5 historical meetings. That was the 3-0 victory at home April 23rd last season. Vancouver 3 wins, and the teams have 1 draw in this series historically. That draw was the scoreless draw back on April 15th of this year at Q2. The Whitecaps' recent form, sitting at 9th in the West here on 25 points, but from 20 games played. So they've got a game in hand on the entirety of the conference outside of Minnesota and 1 game in hand on us sitting 4 points back. They did lose to Seattle yesterday at home, 3-2, late winner for Seattle after a red card for Matthias Laborda, who is, I think, like a center back, can also play right back. Sometimes they go in a back three. So we won't see Laborda on Wednesday. Prior to that loss yesterday, they lost 3-0 at SKC, and then they did beat LAFC on the road back on June 24th. They have 8 points from their last 6 matches. Vancouver should also be missing Julian Gressel, and they will be missing him if the U.S. takes care of business in the Gold Cup later on tonight here on Sunday. I assume if the U.S. gets upset tonight, I assume Gressel could come back and play. I don't think he hasn't been playing a huge role for that American team in this tournament, so we'll see on Julian Gressel. But let's talk about us. Obviously, still no Leo. We'll see about Alex, man. We'll see. And I guess we'll see on fucking Rodney Redes too. But what do you think we see here from a lineup standpoint? Because we're coming off a hard-fought victory on a Saturday, right back at it on a Wednesday with SKC at home looming on Saturday. You think we see any rotation here?
I think we do. And you know, this Vancouver club, I talked about them a little bit and how I was, afraid of them. And then they dropped their last 2 matches here in pretty convincing fashion, giving up 6 goals. So I don't really know how I feel about the Vancouver club right now. I think I'm going to go rewatch one of their last matchups to see what, if I can see anything.
Yeah.
But in regard to Austin, obviously, like you talked about, this has not been a pleasant place for us to play as of late. And I do think that we're going to get some rotation in this game because I feel like we have to. And I really can't put my finger on what's going on with Alex Ring here. I don't know what's going on. Like, is he hurt? How bad is it? Are we being cautious with him? But like,
he's definitely not healthy, right? I mean, because he was down at Miami, like he was not 100%. But I also, like, to your point, I don't think it's that black and white. It just seems like there's more to it than that. You're muted.
Sorry about that. It does seem like there's more to it and something going on behind the scenes than just meets the eye up front. In regard to the lineup, I think you're going to get an Emmy start here. I think there's your rotation for Finley, and I'm okay with that. Midweek game after a game on Saturday, this is your chance, man. Go solidify your position on this club and, potentially move your way back into the starting lineup. But, it's an uphill battle for him to get back to the starting lineup for me. And Ethan didn't do anything last night to be like, yeah, we got to get him off the pitch. Again, I thought he played a nice game. Mm-hmm. So I do think you get the rotation for Finley there with Rigoni.
Okay.
Obviously, no Dani. Owen has not played very well since getting back.
I think 3 games in a row, he's been mediocre at best.
Yes, at best. And had, again, like we talked about with Kip earlier, like glaring mistakes, things that just really hurt the club. So fortunately, he is very good getting back in defensive transition. And always, like, if he messes up, he does get back. So we'll take that. But he's got to start here. So I think he'll go Owen, Johan. Mm-hmm. Again, we don't know the ring situation, so I'm assuming the pairing is going to be Kippy and Cascante.
Yep.
Again, Seba, this is turf, right?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure.
That adds a bit of an element here with this club. Obviously, we have a few guys who don't enjoy playing on turf, but I don't see how you can't go Seba, Diego, and then G is going to start. I don't see when Maxi will be starting unless G's banged up.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, turf there at BC Place. Hey, man, you got to go fucking play. You got to go play.
You have to. I understand it.
And I think this is probably just me reading too much into it, but you talking about Emmy maybe getting the start, rotating in for Finley, thinking that, we've got another game coming up here on Saturday. And also, if you're going to give Emmy a start in this span of 3 games before Leagues Cup, does it maybe make more sense to do it on the road here where there's not the added pressure of a fan base that doesn't think too fondly of number 7 right now, despite the goal last night? Again, I don't think that's the main reason you would see it, but maybe just a bonus where he could get his confidence up on the road and not have to hear the groans of 20,000 plus people when he fucks up. If he fucks up, I guess we'll say.
I mean, his confidence should be up from last night. He played very well. Yeah. And I hope that that's not the case. I hope we're not babying him like that because, like,
well, I don't think we would say that to him, but like,
yeah, no, he's a professional. Josh is a player, an ex-player. Yeah. He ain't doing that shit. If you can't do it, like, come on, nah. So, but I do think this is a chance to start him. I do think this is an opportunity for him here. Finley's been playing a lot of minutes, logging a lot of minutes. It's going to be interesting. We talked about what we were going to be happy with from a point standpoint, and we've hit our bar, right? We were at 4. We would feel pretty good from those 3 road.
We're back on track. We thought we were going to get 3 from Miami. We wanted 1 from Minnesota and Vancouver. We wanted 3 at home against SKC.
Yeah.
So I think for me, this match, this is now house money.
Like,
if you don't get a result here, you don't get anything. It keeps SKC as like a must win again to continue on the path to getting into that top 4 over the last 13 matches of the season here. So if we take an L here, the sky is not falling for me. Again, there will be further context provided. If we fucking lose 4-1, I'm gonna feel awful.
Yeah.
But like again, they have done what they needed to do over the first half of this 4-game stretch that we've been, kind of putting under a microscope before the break.
Yep.
So it's exciting, man. We did not expect that. I know you predicted the win.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us. We didn't expect it in that fashion, of course.
Absolutely not. And I mean, you couldn't feel any sort of way about any way other than terrible after the first 30 minutes of that game. Right. But yeah, we're in a good spot, man. It's a good place to be right now. This is going to be an interesting game. And yeah, house money, get a point here. Fuck yeah.
Yep. Well, we're going to get a point or are we going to get 3? Because we're going to do our score predictions. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to break your streak here, but maybe you're talking about a point. So is Austin FC winning on Wednesday?
Austin FC is winning on Wednesday.
Okay. What's the score?
Look, we've been hot. We've been scoring goals, man. Like, we went through that streak.
Most in the league.
We're going to get most in the league last 4 games. So this Vancouver team has been giving up goals as well, and they let up 6 their last 2, like we said. So I think that we can go ahead and hang 2 on them, and we'll probably give up a goal, as we've been known to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go 2-1.
All right. We have been scoring goals, but this Vancouver team is very potent offensively. Still no Gressel. That's a downgrade for sure. They're missing him, but our boy Ryan Gauld's been playing on an amazing level. Sergio Cordova has yet to really get going, but we know about his talent. Brian White up there. So I'm going to say 2-2 draw. And again, not elated, but getting a point, very satisfied, especially bringing that home with the 3 we've already got. So I'm going to go 2-2 draw. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that I'm sending out Easter Damas tweets on Wednesday.
We'll take it.
So 9:30 p.m. Central at Vancouver. It's going to be a late one on Wednesday.
What is up with that?
Oh, it's West Coast, man. Vancouver's way out there.
Oh, damn. I don't know. Just when I think Canada, I just think Eastern time zone, I guess.
Just where you're from? That's the only Canada? Let's jump into, or I guess before we get to last business day, which is going to be another fun celebration here. I did forget to mention Musa Jite was loaned to a Turkish second division side for a full year. So loaned out until this time next year, freeing up that U22 spot. So again, there are plates still spinning. Josh said at media availability specifically, there are 2 options inside the league and 2 options outside the league that they're working on. And you just moved Jite. Redes, who the fuck knows what's going on?
Yep.
There's some kind of craziness going on around Ring. That might be much ado about nothing, but Musa being loaned, I hope he gets a lot more playing time, continues to develop over there just for his sake. And again, there will still be 6 months on his Austin FC contract when this current loan is up. So all the best to Musa. And I'm happy that we made that move, and now we can continue to move forward here in this transfer window. Speaking of the transfer window, Rodolfo Borrell, per Michelle Sanchez, so shout out to her. She reported today that Rodolfo Borrell will be introduced tomorrow on Monday, so most likely when you are listening to this, or it may be Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, maybe weeks down the road. But Monday, July 10th, Anthony Precourt and Rodolfo Borrell supposed to speak at a press conference. So looking forward to coverage of that as well. Let's jump into last business day and talk the Dynamo Dose recap. Neither of us went out to this match. I don't remember what you were doing, but I was watching Victor Wembanyama and just getting all excited about that. Don't make that face. You didn't watch the fucking game. See, you're a fucking Instagram highlight boy for Summer League, bro. You don't watch games. Don't look at me like that.
2 for 13, air ball, got dunked on, missed a dunk, missed a layup, and got crossed over.
Uh-huh.
He looked scared.
5 blocks, including a 3.
He looked
8
scared.
boards, 5 assists, missed like 6 more potential assists. That's enough hoops for now. We're gonna finish up this episode because about an hour until the Summer Spurs play again, and Wembanyama gonna impress Ian tonight. It's a hard thing to do, but he's gonna accomplish that. Let's get to last business day here. Lineup came out, and look, man, I was all wrapped up in the Summer League, the Wemby hype. So I saw a couple things here right off the rip. You get Pinkham back in there, Pignot back in the starting lineup, EJ catching a start. But then the one I missed, man, Czech Toure back in the starting lineup. So I didn't realize till the game started that he was out there. Fucking great to see him back out there after the injury scare. Still no David Rodriguez. And Charlie Asensio was not in the team. So there was some speculation that maybe he was going to show up on the first team's bench. He did not. So I assume just a routine day off for Asensio there. Any thoughts on that lineup? You also had Alonso Ramirez, Cristo Vela getting the start. Bobo was in there. Of course, CJ. And, man, this was the CJ game.
Oh, yeah. This was the CJ coming out party, baby. Look, this team's fucking deep. We've said it all year. We got bodies we can put in that you feel good about. And now we've kind of unearthed Pinkham here, and he's played very well in his few appearances with the FC2 club. So no complaints from the lineup. Up and down, we're just a good, deep team, and we hung it on them boys.
Dude, you know what's fucking crazy is this is how distracted I was by my San Antonio Spurs and me actually being able to be excited about them for the last couple of years. I missed, Valentin Noel wasn't in the team. He wasn't on the bench either.
Yeah.
So Asensio not there, Rodriguez not there, Val not there.
Yep.
Jackson Valti was on the bench. Micah Burton was on the bench. You did see Brian Ariano and Irvin Torres on the bench. So just weird. But again, it just highlights, and I know we say this like almost every episode, but this fucking roster is so deep for this Next Pro League.
Obviously, this is our first go with the Next Pro team. And I've been trying to figure out how much these teams can change from the start of the season to the end of the season. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Kippy's not going back. So it's like you look at these clubs now, and it's like, how's it all going to shake out? I'm interested to see how it all shakes out for every team in this league, because I just don't have any experience. Like, are guys going to be pulled up more? Obviously, teams dealing with more injuries potentially at this point in the season. So it's interesting, but it's good to be fucking deep. Yeah,
absolutely. And a pleasant surprise here on the broadcast, because it looked like another packed house at the pitch. The crowd was great. You could hear it clearly, the environment there, the intensity of the fans. It's awesome, man. Like you said, it's awesome to be an Austin FC fan. But if you were watching the match online, you got David Goss on the commentary, and that is a huge upgrade over some of the typical commentary you get at the Next Pro level. So more of that, please, MLS, especially since Austin probably has one of the fan bases that's tuning in the most, I would think.
Matches. We have the best Next Pro atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, I mean, I've watched a ton of road games. Obviously, I haven't seen all of them, but like, our shit is popping.
Yeah. So more David Goss, please. 10th minute here. Czech goes on a 50-yard tear down the left side, plays Pignot through, and he gets a shot on net, but the keeper able to save it low. 6 minutes later, Czech again. It takes a heavy touch in the Austin half and can't slide and win it back, or he does slide, can't win it back. Houston plays a nice one, too, at the top of the box, and the shot goes right to Damian, who scoops it up. kind of a period of Houston pressure here. 2 minutes later, you had another dangerous Houston chance that saw them swing the ball around the box as Austin had packed it in. They get it to the left side, and it's crossed to the back post. There's an open Houston player there, and he heads it over the bar. 6 minutes later, another corner for Houston. They find a free head at the near post. That it kind of takes a deflection off that head, gets to the back post, and the Houston player, like almost in like an Emmy spot, like that close to the goal, skied it over the bar. So Austin a little bit lucky, but hey man, that's soccer.
I'll take it.
Yeah, 27th minute, Austin corner this time. CJ takes it, just missed a flying Captain Joe, who, by the way, Joe was at center back. They had Pinkham on the right, which was surprising.
That wasn't that how it was last game too?
No, I'm pretty sure we had Pinkham, but when Pinkham came in, he was at center back. And because remember we were talking about how it was nice to have Joe out on the right again with Pinkham in there. And he has always been advertised as a center back to me. His first relief appearance was at center back. I think he was at center back last week too. But regardless, I may be wrong about these past appearances, but he was out. Pinkham was out there on the right. And Joe did well in the center back spot, where we've seen him look a little bit less effective in his first couple of appearances, sliding over there in place of Kip. So Joe just misses this header here, and that ball actually falls to Pinkham at the top of the box. He blasts a shot right at the keeper, and the keeper able to keep it kind of into his body there, because there was a lot of velocity on that Chris Pinkham shot. 34th minute. Dynamo Dos free kick on the right sideline. It comes in and skips off a Houston head at the near post across the face of goal and falls to a Houston player, and he puts it wide of that back post. Another chance that should have been an absolute goal for Houston, but you got to convert your chances.
You got to finish, man. Don't be scared.
39th minute, Austin wins a free kick on the left. CJ and Czech line up over it. Czech takes it towards the back post. Joe does a good job to head it back towards the spot, but a foul was called, I think, on Joe or maybe in the scrum there, but not able to finish that play out. 42nd minute, you get an EJ yellow card. And, man, it was chippy again, because we know EJ was getting into with those boys. We talked about how that second matchup between these two teams out there in Houston, a lot of cards, a lot of physicality, some cheap shots in that one. That right side with EJ up and down, both teams getting after it. He gets started there in the 42nd, but that Houston free kick is cleared out back to EJ on the right side. He plays Cristo Vela long, and Vela able to win the ball in the middle of multiple defenders. He goes down in the box, maybe a little bit easy, no call there, but it was a really nice job, I thought, by 99 to win that ball in the middle of multiple orange jerseys. And again, not able to finish, but I thought it was a good play nonetheless. And 2 minutes later, you get Chris Pinkham whipping a ball in from the right side, probably 15 yards outside the box, maybe a little further. Takes a bounce in a dangerous area. No Houston player able to get to it. CJ Fodre does not quit, and he heads it home for the opening goal. Great to see, man. CJ back on the board.
Someone sent a tweet out about him that I saw, and it was just like, he moves different than, a player in this league. And it's been clear since day one that he's a different type of athlete. Can't wait to see him move up, man. And he played a hell of a game, and he's feisty, and he's a competitor. And this is a nice little, testy little rivalry that we have going on here with the Dynamo Dos. We clearly don't like each other, and that's fine with us.
Yeah. Well, I know from his Instagram that CJ went back home this week, because there is now, I think, a 2-week break until the next Austin FC2 match.
Okay.
But man, if we move Rodney out in the next couple of days, maybe CJ's that guy. I mean, I think Sophie Jeff will probably gets the shout first, especially on Wednesday with Dani out, if that comes to pass. But like you said, the kid's gonna be moved up, at some point. And can't wait for that. Second minute of stoppage time here. Austin won a free kick on the right edge of the 18. Cristo took it directly at the keeper. It was a good shot, but got popped up in the air, and then a foul was called on Austin. Into the second half here, 51st minute, Houston wins a free kick on the right side. It's crossed to the back post and then back across the face of goal. Austin was able to clear it, but Houston got a shot from the top of the box that went over the bar. So not completely toothless, but Houston did kind of trail off as the match went on. They definitely got more than a little frustrated here.
Oh, yeah.
56th minute, CJ wide open all the time on the left side of the box. He sees Sebastian Pignot making a great run, swings the ball in, and Pignot kind of cuts across the face of the defender, takes his opportunity, and slots it home. So 2-0, CJ, goal and an assist, and number 9 back on the score sheet as well. Man,
again, getting him too. Like, shit.
Yeah.
He's been great.
Yeah. After doing nothing really the first couple months of the season, not getting any chances to play, and he has been a welcome surprise.
Absolutely.
We love to see that continue. 2 minutes later, you get the first subs of the match for Austin. Micah comes in for EJ, and the grill master, Jackson Vulty, comes in for Czech Beret. And so, if I recall correctly, this pushed Joe back out, and Jackson played at center back. But again, I was dual screening it there. I was cooking at the same time. So we're up 2-0. I start the celebration early.
Oh, yeah.
So then 64th minute, you got Joe coming forward. He gets a shot off that goes just wide right, waiting for that Captain Joe goal. And that's come too. 71st minute, he didn't have a ton to do because a lot of these Houston chances were off target when they should have been put in the back of the net. But great diving save by Damien here on a low, or before a low shot from the edge of the box, was able to sneak inside the post. One of the few times he was actually called into action to make one of those spectacular, keeper of the month, all-star goalie war keeper, all those type of saves. Then 79th minute, Austin wins a free kick, 6-7 yards outside the 18, left center of net, and Cristo Vela bangs it home, upper 90, 3-0 Austin. The route is on. The fucking party is going. Like, I can feel the party through my laptop screen.
Yeah,
there at the pitch. Fuck, man, no regrets on missing out on that one. But I know a bunch of people who were there, and they said it was a blast, and that's how it always is out at the pitch.
Yep.
Man. I can't wait to be back.
Absolutely.
82nd minute, CJ taken down by Juarez from behind. Dirty foul. Teams come together, as they should. The Austin players should absolutely run up on those orange jerseys on that foul. Sal gets in the mix, and then August from Houston, who we said in the second game, is just built like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah.
Just if we can use some football terminology, American football, fucking horse collar Sal down to the ground. Sal plays his part, lays there like he's been shot. But August thrown out for violent conduct, red card. I mean, it's just the fucking Houston sore loser bullshit.
Embarrassing.
Look, yeah, they are embarrassing. The whole organization is an embarrassment, and neither the first team or the second team of the Houston Dynamo have ever won a point in Austin, Texas. So better luck next year, boys.
Sucks to suck, man.
85th minute is the last note I have on this match. Or I guess I should say Irvin Torres does come in for Alonso Ramirez in the 87th, and then don't want to miss out 80th minute. You also got Brian Oriano, came in for Bobo. Steve Louis-Jean came in for Cristo right after his banger goal. But 85th minute, you had David Goss doing an HEB ad read, and that made my night.
Good.
So that's Austin FC 2, another victory, now up to 36 points on 18 games played, 25 goals for, still just 10 against. This team continues to roll, and now they get a well-deserved break until the next match, which is pitting the number 1 and number 2 teams at Rapids 2. That'll be 2 Sundays from today, Sunday the 23rd at 5 p.m. Central. So cannot wait for that one. Hope the guys enjoy their week off and come back, hit the ground running, ready to go for the stretch run of the season.
They'll be ready.
I agree. Let's close it out with the nonsense here today. We can do a little best ball update because we did have the new rosters there. It was a little bit of an interesting week because some of our guys like Chicho Arango, Timu Puki are not in the MLS pool yet for fantasy. So those guys could not score. They'll be there next week, but because it was a double game week, the week started before those guys were eligible and the window opened. So I did not count those scores. And some guys had midweek games, others just played one in the game week. So if a guy did play twice, he got the higher of his two scores, as we do in the double game weeks. So yeah, it was a little interesting. Took me a little bit longer to compile all these together, but at the end of the day, Northern Podcast victorious for a third straight week, tying the season high score of any team and setting a new high for ourselves personally. 63 points. You get 9 from Cucho, 10 from Taxi Funtas, 14 from Ricky Pooch, 13 from Ryan Gauld, 7 from new acquisition John Gallagher, and 10 from Roman Berkey. 63 points for the North End Podcast. And then Ring of Fire, who was ready to hear their score today on Twitter. I think they thought they might have pulled out a victory. No, fellas. But
I'm sorry, guys.
Second place, not bad. 52 points. I think that is a season high for RB. I can double check on that. Or I should say RB and the boys at this point. They had a whole war room going the other night. 52 points confirmed their season high. So the transfer window paying off for Texas Ring of Fire early on. They get 12 from new acquisition Alan Pulido, 11 from mainstay Lucho Acosta, 9 from Danny Pereira, 14 from new acquisition Brooks Lennon, 52 points on the week. Good for those boys. Moon Tower, third on the week, 45 points. They get 11 from their new acquisition, Alvaro Barrial, and 10 from new acquisition, Hector Herrera. So everybody benefiting from the summer transfer window already. Then just 39 points from We Are Austin TV because Stephen Fry was their goalkeeper pickup. He has a bad concussion reportedly right now. Dane St. Clair still at the Gold Cup, so no goalkeeper points again for We Are Austin TV. They do get 17 from Seba with the massive game, but nobody else on the team more than 39 points for We Are Austin TV. So looking at the overall standings, Moon Tower cracks the 4-digit mark. They are at 1,010 points. North End Podcast on that ass, 975. We Are Austin TV, 925, and Texas Ring of Fire, 848. So looking ahead to, another double game week here. We'll have more scoring. Can't wait for that. Let's get to the betting picks and close things out here. We didn't do great in terms of like our hit rate on the bets. Two of these bets came through, but that's all we needed for a profitable week here in week 24. You get Austin at plus 280. Cash us out. Driussi plus 300, which is fucking disrespectful. If he's at plus 300, I don't care. I don't care if he's playing fucking Man City. I'm taking that. I'm taking that 3-1 him to score. Come on. So we'll take those. We missed on Nashville, Philly, Cincy, and Houston. None of those teams came through with a victory, which honestly, like standings-wise, we will take, and plus 1.8 units on the week from the Austin victory. So we're up to negative 28.14 units. We're chipping away. Week by week. Let's see what we can do here with the midweek betting picks. I'll let you start it off because I don't think we found a little recipe here with our own boys. I don't think we're going away from it, are we?
We're not going away from it. We're taking Austin, going to Vancouver, getting what, plus 330. Good gravy. Yeah, we're locking that in. And then, might as well just get into it as well. We're taking Seba anytime goal, no matter what it comes out at. I guess we'll take them if they play Man City even. So we're ready to go with that. And we hit the most two important bets. Austin win, Seba goal. Those are the two most important bets. So we'll do it again, plus 330, and whatever we get Seba at, we're taking them.
Oh, my God. What a weekend. Blow out Dynamo Dos on Friday. Blow out the Loons on Saturday. Best ball win. Profitable bets. Woo.
Card show.
I know you made out pretty well there.
Shout out to the one guy, ATX Chargers.
Shout out Jake.
Yeah, he inspired me, man. He inspired me to go. I picked up some MLS cards. I got a couple Sebas. I got a Diego. I got an Alex Ring, an Owen Wolf. Those I grabbed on eBay, but
okay.
But he inspired me, man. I saw his tweets and he had like 101 and shit, and I was like, damn, that's cool as hell.
Dude, he'll go around. He's got like a chain that he'll wear like the 101s around.
Hernan was telling me, I was like, that's some crazy shit.
Little flex.
That's a fucking flex. I like it.
All right, let's keep the betting picks rolling here. I'll do two since you fired off the double to start. I'm going to LAFC here. They're minus 200 at home, hosting St. Louis City, who I still maintain is not good.
All right.
And we're how many games into the season now? We are They're 21 games in. They still sit in first in the West. They've won 3 in a row. And that streak ends here. I'm putting 2 units on LAFC to win at home at -200. We can lock that in. And while I'm at it, I'll fire off the second one here. Perfect bet, Houston, -110, hosting the Loons down here in the humidity of Houston. I would take Houston, and if they don't get a result, fantastic.
Yep, we'll take it.
Right.
I'm going to RSL, a super, super hot team that just keeps adding players. We're getting them at +265 at Sporting Kansas City. Suck on that one, Convincio.
RSL +265. I like it. And I'll go to another road team, my old reliable that never seems to come through when I actually pick them. Seattle on the road at San Jose. San Jose really in the mud of late. Seattle getting healthier. Stephen Cleveland, the backup keeper there, not bad when you're looking at the backups around the league. So Seattle +170 at San Jose. That'll round out the week 25 betting picks. We've got Austin +330 to win at Vancouver. Driussi to score, whatever odds they open at, we're going to take them. We got our eyes on that board. RSL +265 at SKC. LAFC -200 at home, hosting St. Louis City. That's a 2-unit hammer. Houston, perfect bet, -110 versus Minnesota. And Seattle +170 on the road at San Jose. Those are the week 25 betting picks. And that will wrap up episode 71 of the North End podcast. Is this the high point of the season so far?
I think I said that last night. I did. I think that was our biggest win, like fun, just a great night. I think so.
And just kind of continuing the good run of form that we've had here.
Man, so. Beating Houston and Dallas back to back.
Yeah. But I mean,
we're right.
We also have that in this card.
We're not too far removed from that. So yeah, it's the high point of the season right now for me, baby. Let's roll.
Let's fucking keep it going on Wednesday, boys. Can't wait for that match, and can't wait for Saturday. We will preview the Saturday match against SKC. On Thursday's pod, we'll recap the away match at Vancouver, and of course have some more nonsense and any Austin FC news, rumors, and general tomfoolery that occurs between now and then. We appreciate you tuning in to this episode of the North End podcast. And if you've got 5 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe to the pod, wherever you get your podcast, we would greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow the podcast. You're going to hit the notification bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. And of course, on this episode, like the video, hit that thumbs up button. Atone for your sins. Wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. We will be back on Thursday, recapping, previewing, all the stuff I already said. Oh, man, enjoy the beginning of your week, everybody. I know we will, and we'll see you back here on Thursday. Until then, I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Goodbye.